What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If it is the first time you're touching down on this channel, welcome to Small Feet Big Heat. We talk sneakers, we talk streetwear, and everything in between. And today we are getting into my top 23 sneakers of 2023. Coming in at number 23 to kick off the list is the Kith and Marvel Asics. From the concept to the model choice to the execution of translating the X-Men characters over to sneakers, this collab was a 10 out of 10. The whole aspect of blind buying and getting a trading card with your pair was a really nice touch. I'm a big details person, so that definitely endeared this pair to me. But that aside, I'm also just a big Asics Gelite 3 fan, and I know this is the Asics Gelite 3 remastered, but the Asics Gelite 3 and Ronnie 5 specifically, his work on that model from like 2010 to 2015 is what got me into Asics in the first place. I'll be honest, I got into Asics because I was obsessed with Kith and Ronnie 5. So that obsession just kind of translated over, and for a while I was just really into Asics. So this kind of just brings me back to that vibe, 2010, 2015, I'm just getting into Asics and finding out about this whole new kind of world of sneakers outside of Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, and the stuff that I was into at that time. But that's neither here nor there. I feel like the Kith Marvel Asics were just a really good collaboration between two cultures. Number 22, and probably the biggest L that I took this year, the Amy Leon Dore 860 V2s. Now this was a trio of New Balances that came in red, blue, and green. The green pair was the pair that I saw first, and that's the pair that made the list because even after the red and the blue colorways were revealed, that green pair just hit different. Something about what they did with like that off-white mesh on the upper, the silver, the copper on the toe, like it's just a really strong pair of New Balances, and I don't have a pair of 860 V2s in my collection yet, so these would have been really nice to add, but like I said, I took an L. Hopefully I'm able to get all three in the collection eventually, but that green pair, the green pair is top priority. Number 21 is a more recent release, the Hidden and JW Customs GT 2160. These sneakers are dope. Starting with the fact that no two pairs of these sneakers are gonna look the same because they were all hand dyed by JW Customs, which is insane when you really think about it. That dyeing process that these sneakers went through makes for a really unique shade of green, and it's just a fun use of color overall. I know minimalism is kind of the wave right now. Everybody gushes over like gray New Balances and just plain kind of sneakers, and that's fine. To each his own. These sneakers are not that. These are an absolute head turner, and I love that about them. They're unique, they're different, but because they are a custom sneaker, there really weren't a lot of pairs. There were never enough pairs to meet the demand, and so I really can't put this any higher up on the list than 21. There's actually two pairs of Romeros that made my list, and the first one is the Romero 5 in yellow ochre, coming in at number 20. This yellow ochre pair, of course, stood out to me because I love yellow, so I was just naturally drawn to it. And despite the shoe being majorly one color, I actually think this sneaker would make some really great fits. These next two sneakers largely made the list due to nostalgia, and that's not to say that I don't like the sneakers themselves. It's just saying that these two sneakers unlock something in my brain that reminds me of a completely different landscape of sneaker collecting. That being said, number 19 is the Air Jordan 4 Thunder. I still have my pair of Thunders from 2012, and this pair just really reminds me of that era of like Nike Talk, Soul Collector, being in the forums when I really probably shouldn't have, meeting up in Soho to do sneaker trades, buying sneakers from other collectors. It was just a good time. It was a completely different landscape of sneaker collecting. Like I said, I definitely plan to add a pair of 2023 Thunders to my collection, mainly because Nike has changed so much about the Air Jordan 4 model between 2012 and 2023 on both the men's and the GS pairs. The GS pairs have changed tremendously. Number 18, the Air Jordan 3 Fear, is another dose of nostalgia. This is a pair that I've wanted for a very, very long time. The entire Fear pack, actually. But in 2023, I have to say, looking back at pairs that released in like 2013, I'm just not really inclined to pick them up, especially those pairs that have air bubbles and different types of technology, because they are starting to crumble, to crack, to fall apart. So I'm glad that they retroed these because I feel way more comfortable buying a 2023 pair of this particular Jordan. There's a lot of dope colorways of the Air Jordan 3 that Jordan Brand has given us over the last couple of years, This one in particular has definitely stood the test of time. Number 17, the Nike Dunk Low Sashiko. There's two colorways of this sneaker. There's the Orwood Brown and there's what Nike calls the Industrial Blue, which is more of like a denim blue colorway. That's the pair that made the list. This was a really nice pair of GR Dunks, and I'm not gonna say that it was slept on because people were paying attention to it around its release, and even a short time after, it had some really nice details that I think people were hip to. But of course, hyper pairs come along and shoes like these get pushed to the side. Number 16, the Concepts and Asics Liberty. The only reason why I didn't pick these up initially on its release is because of the way they were selling out. They were selling out slowly. I think it took a whole weekend for them to actually sell out. So I figured if I waited until around the end of the year that I would be able to scoop a pair for under retail. And the way things are going, that's exactly what I plan to do. These are kind of a reimagining of the Concepts in Asics Boston Tea Party from 2015. And as I've already said, that 2010 to 2015 era of Asics is when I really got into it. So of course I'm glad to see a rendition of these come back. It makes me excited about collecting and wearing my sneakers again. Every sneaker on this list makes me excited about what's to come with sneakers in 2024, and I haven't felt that way in a while. Number 15 is the Air Jordan 1 Comfort Dia de Muertos. I love these. Up until now, Nike has not convinced me to buy Air Jordan 1 Comfort. I'm sure it is more comfortable than the Air Jordan 1 High Retro. I'm sure it is. But up until now, I just have not been interested in that model. This Dia de Muertos pair changes everything. Day of the Dead sneakers are normally very colorful. You have a lot of pinks, reds, berry tones, oranges, yellows. But instead of going that route, Nike did something a little bit different and they incorporated marigolds, which is the traditional flower that you see associated with Dia de Muertos. But instead, they kind of have like this sketched vibe to them, this black and gray, kind of gritty sketched vibe to them versus the normal yellow, orange, berry colored marigolds that you would see associated with Day of the Dead. It's a beautiful shoe that incorporates some of my other favorite details like mixed materials and contrast stitching. The gallery department Asics GT 2160. A lot of people had a lot to say about this pair of sneakers. Oh, if you buy them, you're just doing it for the name. Oh, if you buy them, there's no way you could possibly like them. It's lazy. It's this. It's that. The splatter paint job has been gallery departments like motif or their calling sign for forever now. So what did y'all really expect for this pair of sneakers? I'll wait. I'll wait. I already like the GT 2160. You don't have to do anything crazy to get me to buy it. It's a model that I already like. The added paint splatter just adds a little razzle dazzle. It's a good looking pair. Is it worth $295 retail? No, I don't think that it's worth $295 retail, and I don't think it's worth some of the resale prices that I've seen. But if I can ever trade for these or get them for a good price, I'm definitely adding these to the collection. Number 13, the Nike Air Force 1 West Indies. Both colorways made the list, but I have the yellow joints here with me right now. If you've been hanging with me for a while on the channel, then you already know I like Air Force 1s. They tickle a part of my soul. So of course the West Indies made the list. I love what Nike did to these. The shape is right. They didn't change any unnecessary details. And it really makes me look forward to seeing Nike bring out some other Air Force 1s from the vault and do them justice as well. Number 12 is the Bricks and Woods New Balance 9060. Nothing changed but the address. That's the name of this shoe, and I guess the idea behind it was that no matter how far you go, nothing changes about you but your address. And I really like that sentiment. The shoe itself is inspired by the founder's grandmother's house, if I remember correctly, and it uses a bunch of different materials to kind of get that across. I think the inspiration to shoe translation was done very well. It's a nice pair of sneakers. I like the mixed materials. I like the details. Bricks and Woods is going to be a brand that I'm paying close attention to in 2024. Number 11 is the Crenshaw Skate Club Nike Dunk Low SB. This collaboration, I saw it getting a lot of hype before its release, leading up to its release, and then very quickly people just stopped talking about them. It was just like poof, moving on to the next thing, which is the case with a lot of sneakers that came out this year. I think this is one of the best dunks, not SBs, not collaboration, dunks period, that we got this year. That being said, it is a pair that's very much in my wheelhouse. I like mixed materials. I like pastel colors. I like minor details that other people will probably never care about. It's really nothing too crazy. It's just a nice, well done Nike SB Dunk Low that you won't have to pay insane prices for. We have made it to the top 10, and if you're still watching the video, do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe. Show a small YouTuber some love. I would really appreciate it. In the comment section, let me know what were some of your favorite sneakers that dropped in 2023. These are another older Concepts collaboration that they decided to bring back since it's the 10th anniversary of this sneaker. These are the New Balance and Concept C-Note. This is another pair that I waited to pick up because these are also going for under retail right now. It's a great time for sneakers. Last year, Concepts and Nike did the Orange Lobster, and I love my pair, don't get me wrong, but people would not shut up about them. Now we have two really good Concepts collaborations coming out this year, and it's dead silence around them. I just find that funny. This is an extremely wearable pair of the New Balance 998. So if you're looking for like bang for your buck sneakers that you can wear with anything, this is a pair that you should be paying attention to. Number 9, y'all know I had to do it. Both the blackout and the loyalty pair of the Terror Squad Air Force Ones made the list. As a kid growing up listening to Fat Joe on barbershop mixtapes, it would have been blasphemous if the Terror Squad Air Force Ones didn't make my list. These are sneakers that no one ever thought would be released to the public. I, like a lot of other people, thought Terror Squad Air Force Ones would forever be friends and family, and to see them now bringing back that 2000s vibe, just a fresh and clean pair of Air Force Ones that you could wear with a lot of different things, I love to see it. Coming in at number 8, the Burgundy 5s, a sneaker that I never thought I would be able to own because Nike didn't make it in my size, so to be included in the sizing this second time around, it's great. I'm telling you, right now is a great time for sneakers, and this is a great pair of 5s. I know some people were tripping about the icy soles, but I don't care about none of that. These are some heat, big heat. Number 7 is the Alma Maniere 5 in the Dawn colorway. I haven't gotten a chance to see these in hand for myself yet, but from the photos I've seen and the fits that I've seen, I wanted a pair before, but now I really want a pair. And the fact that these are going for under retail to me is criminal, because out of the two colorways, this one is absolutely my preferred colorway, I have to say. I love what Alma Maniere does with the burgundy and the black color scheme. They've really taken that and ran with it. But something about like that gray, blue on the upper on these is just clean. It's a clean pair of 5s, and I do have to admit it's a very tiny detail, but I like that that blue pair doesn't have the Alma Maniere branding on the air bubble. I completely understand that Jordan 5s are not for everybody, so I wouldn't be surprised if these were an easy pass for some people, as well as the Burgundy 5s that I just talked about. Number 6 is the Ronnie Fian Asics Gel Light 3 remastered by invitation only. When I first saw this pair, it was really just being seeded to like friends of the brand, friends of Kith on social media, but then it ended up hitting the Kith app for certain people, and I was one of those people, and I was geeked. You already know, I just talked about how much I like the Gel Light 3 and how much I like Ronnie Fi's work specifically on that model, and it reminds me of those older Ronnie Fi Asics, the muted red and like beat tones. It's just a really good pair, clean pair. So I will be having a review coming for y'all very soon. We made it to the top 5, and I'm sure this is gonna be a sneaker that you've seen on a lot of other people's lists. It's a lot of people's sneaker of the year, which I'm not mad at. The Nike SB Air Jordan 4 Pine Green. I think people had a lot of concerns about a Nike SB Air Jordan 4 at first, and Nike just put all of that to rest. People were really surprised with how good this pair actually was. It absolutely deserves to be talked about as one of the best sneakers to come out of 2023. And if we do get military blue SB4s next year, that will be in next year's best sneaker of the year conversation as well, because it's just that good. Number 4, the Union Los Angeles and Bethy's Beauty Supply Air Jordan 1 Summer of 96, the sneaker that had so many hot takes. There was some solid criticism in the mix, I will say that. If you don't like the shoe, you don't like the shoe. You're entitled to that. Other people were just talking out the side of their necks. I'll say this is the first time that we've ever seen some kind of woven design like this on an Air Jordan 1, and it's probably the last time that they will ever do something like this. Chris from Union LA and Beffy from Beffy's Beauty Supply, in my opinion, would be considered powerhouses when it comes to sneakers and streetwear and pushing the culture forward. They gave us something new, they gave us something different, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the appreciation around this shoe rise over time. Even if the value doesn't, the monetary value doesn't, the appreciation around this pair will definitely rise, because as I said, they did something here that we'll probably never see again. The third and second spot on these lists is always difficult to figure out, and I went back and forth with this one for a minute, but coming in at number 3 is the Nike SB Dunk Low Powerpuff Girl in all 3 colorways. I love everything that Nike did with this pair, the switching up materials for the different characters, each pair having like similar details but also different. The iridescent and 3M piping on the sneakers, from concept to final product, I'm sure there was a lot of hands involved, different people, different teams, suggesting things, changing things, making tweaks, and Nike should give each and every one of them a raise. Are they the most wearable sneaker? No, but they aren't meant to be the most wearable sneaker. They're supposed to be bright, they're supposed to be loud, they're based off of a cartoon. Come on. Number 2 is the Doernbecher Vomero. I'm not one of those people who really looks forward to the Doernbecher lineup, if I'm being honest. I understand why Nike does it, and I think that that cause is, of course, very commendable, and I love that they do that for those kids. The designs just really don't be hitting for me a lot of the times. This Vomero 5 was definitely the exception. The orange, yellow, black came together really nicely on the Vomero 5, which is already a model that I like. I did like the add-ons, you know, the extra Velcro patches and stuff like that. That was cool, but honestly, the colorway alone is just really strong. This should be obvious for those of y'all that watch the channel. My sneaker of the year, my number 1 spot, goes to the born and raised Nike SB Dunk Low, one block at a time. I've been the biggest born and raised fan for forever now. Sponso, in my eyes, just really understood authenticity, and I think that's one of the biggest pillars of streetwear. You can tell that these sneakers came from a place of love for where someone came from, where a person was raised, where someone grew up, and I think that's a story that we can all relate to. It is a beautiful, beautiful pair of sneakers, and they used every single inch of the sneaker to tell that story. Y'all can go check out my review. I talk about it in depth in that video. Talk to me in the comment section. I definitely want to hear what was y'all top sneakers of 2023. Like and subscribe. Show a small YouTuber some love. I would really appreciate it. If you want to hear me talk more about sneakers, you can check out this sneaker review playlist right over here, or you could check out this video, which is going to be my thoughts on Jordan Brand's 2024 spring lineup.